All your words are so there.
Order is case. All right, ready? I made this really deep in the block because it's an answer to the inevitable to remove that we can't kick frame. A couple of conceded arguments. First is that they make arguments about the debate being unique because of the interaction between competitors and judges. This is fundamentally that we get to change our minds and we get to persuade people of different things. If the point of the affirmative is to make us debate differently or think about debate differently, that we should be able to change our minds in reaction to tweaky, to read clarifications or responses to our arguments, which makes it impossible to debate if we can't have multiple different abilities to test the affirmative. Two is that they conceded the conduct was normatively good, which means that you can functionally kick the world of the framework. It was just an advocacy for a world where we embrace each specification. Three is they conceded that we should be able to test the affirmative from multiple different viewpoints. This is good normatively because it teaches them the skills to defend their advocacy from the right and the left hand. It also means that we get to engage them in multiple different perspectives, which the dish evidence has is a good form of separation from identity. We should not be forced to bring our identity into the debate. If you do not think that you are comfortable debating in a non-identitarian way, then you don't have to. The point is that we shouldn't be tied down to the introduction of the procedure argument that you should. Functionally, you should learn how to answer the argument that state-based politics are good, because that is sort of the point of the app. We also that's also not literally the argument that you should have to be able to sever your identity. That was never the point. There are arguments about how the debate has a unique judging competitive aspect proves that they could do it too if they wanted to. Just because they have personal identities and personal locations does not mean that you're precluded from making different policy arguments or answering things in different ways, etc. Which means that this is terminally for solve their claims in the new spin. Now, critique. Functionally, the only one of your answer is non-unique, which means that if we win a unique link term that's sufficient to solve, they do not really handle the Spanos argument well enough. The point that the Spanos argument makes is that the neocons get trained in debate to do policy analysis, etc. However, they concede that there is a unique link to including their strategies within debate because that forecloses it to them, allows them to get practice beating it down and spiking it to the ground, etc. Which means that when they end up becoming politicians and engaging with representational politics, they will be better able to defeat the style of advocacy. The invisible committee evidence is a reason why this is greatly proven by the past 40 years of politics and fundamentally turns the entirety of the one you see now. The day evidence, as well as all three pieces of Sianos evidence I read, establish the alternative solvency pretty well. It's an affirmation of the political spaces that we have in the status quo. They say that they don't make a distinction between what is political and what isn't political. We don't say that there's a distinction between those things. We make a distinction between representative politics and non-representative politics or invisible politics, something that they've not come to grips with. An example, he talked about talking to Davon and some other person whose name I don't remember. That solves all of their offense because that is imperceptible and allows them to engage in these things in these educational movements. However, the fact that you do it in a forum means that you train people to defeat your advocacy, which is unique offense that we have against the app. They also concede that representative politics is both ineffective and bad because it means that you homogenize difference and have to engage with these other things. No answer to this is that I don't have to be held to a very high threshold of explanation. Now he makes the argument that it's nihilistic. One is the evidence that we've had on the alternative is actually an explicitly answer to this. It says that we should not be read as nihilistic from disengagement within these institutions. It cites the example of the Zapatista movement, which decided to totally foreclose the engagement with the Mexican government and instead established their own community, which was then able to resist the things that existed with the Mexican life, which was sufficient for them to establish their own space. They say that everything is discursive. It doesn't matter. The fact that you engage in an explicit form and disclosure strategy for engaging within these things is the unique link that they have conceded. They say that there's no bright line actually already answered that. They also concede the unique argument about the Schneider Reed evidence that says that we should engage in elimination debates and teach people how to do things or be leaders for a movement. Our evidence is a direct impact to this and says that the idea that we should have a central leader who then represents everyone else is one that both empirically fails and is violent because it erases the ability to engage within these things in a way that does not use institutions or use leaders. You should be able to do these things without being directed. You should or do it spontaneously. They also concede the Herzog evidence, which means that they can't win offense. They've had two chances and they've missed both of them. The Herzog evidence indicates that if institutions are bad, we should not engage with them at all because it trains us to think of institutions as necessary to our conception of social change. Go back to the case real quick. Wasn't contradictory. I've had to explain this like 20 times a day, but the critique is a reason why debate is a bad space for micro-political or anti-statist movements. The framework or procedural issue is a reason why debate should be about state and hypothetical simulations so we can learn how to think and analyze things better. It's like a game-playing argument that teaches us the skills to engage with politics in whatever way we then choose to do because we can evaluate cost-benefit analysis comparatively better. Anything else? Oh, the evidence that they read on the critique, the Schneider read evidence, it just says that like debaters and judges interact. It doesn't make an argument outside of that. The neoliberalism argument was that the way that the political sphere is changed is such that it creates a smooth space of undifferentiation and allows for these things to be co-opted or solved with token gestures. It wasn't an argument about why they are neoliberals.